Hello, FieldMap fans. In this video, I would like to show you how you can use PostgreSQL database as a native primary database in FieldMap on your local computers. So first of all, you need to install PostgreSQL to your computer. So download the Windows installation. So you can use the latest version 17.2. It's no problem. And also you will need the latest version of the FieldMap 22. So the current release is from 6th of December 24. I already downloaded the installation of the PostgreSQL, so I just run the installer. Click next. We can keep the default path. We can install all the parts of the Postgres, PG admin for administration of our database. Stack Builder is useful for installing additional extensions. So the data we can store to different paths. So I will store it to my drive D to folder PG data. Password for admin user. The user is called Postgres. And very important is to set the default port or to keep the default port 5432 because FieldMap at this moment does not allow to change port, so it requests the default Postgres port. So we can keep a default local and start installation. Okay, so after installation, if you plan to use FieldMap database in PostgreSQL also with QGIS, you need to install Postgres extension. So keep this stack builder and Postgres and activate here in special extensions Postgres extension. So now set the path where the installer will be download and after downloading run the installation of Postgres. So we need only the Postgres bundle. There are some additional functions that are not necessary. It's on you how you want to have them. So we can keep the default path for the PostgreSQL and install to the same path also Postgres. Okay, so the installation is complete. We can close it. Installation complete, finish. And now we have running PostgreSQL server on our local computer, and we can start to use it in FieldMap. So if you run FieldMap Project Manager, I will have two options now. You can create completely new project, or you can transfer already existing project to your Postgres project, Postgres database. So I will work with existing project. So I open the project and I delete some tests here. And every installation and every FieldMap installation has some example project in Firebird database installed in the path users public FieldMap data example project. If it's version 22, so there is example project 22. Click OK. So you see there are some layers, trees, deadwood, also some polygonal layers for polygons and stones and so on. So this project is in Firebird, so you can see it here, Firebird local database, and we are now as administrator. So we can, using tools and function transfer data between projects, we can create completely new project. So select the path where you will store it. So for example, I can store it in the path data and call this project my PG test. And here is very important to select PostgreSQL server and then set server if you want to connect to a local server on your computer, write localhost. If you will connect to some remote server, so then here you need to write path, the address of your server. So I have it in the localhost, so I will write localhost. Username, the default username is Postgres, and password is the password you use during installation. So then you click this connection, and if everything is correct, so this part become green, and you will see the list of databases in your PostgreSQL. So there is only one Postgres default database. Then click OK, and FEMA will create new database in the Postgres called mypgtest. Click OK. And now if you have more plots in your local project, so then you can select them and move to your Postgres project. If there is only one, so it's automatically selected. And then you can decide if you want to copy data or move data. So I will keep copy data and click transfer. So now the data from Firebird were transferred to Postgres data. So like this, you can transfer data between different databases. There is supported Access, Firebird, Postgres, MS SQL, and these databases. So once it's finished, I can open my Postgres server. You see that here is G, so it means that the database is in Postgres. If there is F, so it's Firebird. So I will open the Postgres database, and we can now look. If I close Project Manager, I can open Data Collector, and the same project in the Postgres, I can open in Data Collector, and we can see data. You go to map, so you see that there are some polygons of stones, trees with ground projections, deadwood, and so on. So there are many different GIS layers. So this project is in global coordinate system, so it's in Czech system as GTSK. So if we now want to see this data in QGIS, so we don't need to use shapefiles in the project, so we can connect directly to the Postgres SQL database. But we are not going to connect directly to these layers, so we will need to create views. So the views for Postgres, you can create in Project Manager. So I will open this Postgres project. And here in the option is a function create database view for external GIS. If the project is in PostgreSQL, it's obligatory to have install PostGIS extension in the so that's why we install the PostGIS when we install the Postgres. So if I click OK, so then you will be asked to set EPSG code of your data. If your data are only local system, there's no global coordinate system, so then you can keep the EPSG 0. If there is some global system, like this example data are in Czech coordinate system as GTSK, and the code is 5514. So then click OK, and field map create views directly on the server. So if I now close Project Manager and we look, for example, using PG admin, how the database looks like and how the views looks like. There is databases, my PG test, and if we go to schemes, here you can see the tables, all tables from the database and views. So there is this important table geometry columns, and all layers, all GIS layers has the view. The name of the layer is the same like the table, but starting with W and underscore and type of the layer, line, point, polygon. So this type of layers are there. So if I close now PG admin, and we can open this data in QGIS. So in layers, we add layer PostgreSQL layers, and we'll create a connection, for example, PG localhost, the name localhost port is the default one, and that is important to write the name of your database of your project. So we create my PG test. So it's important to write only the small characters, not capital letters, because Postgres does not support the big characters. Username is Postgres, password we use during installation. We can store it and test connection. So if everything is correct, so you see it's connected. So if I, for example, write my Postgres with the capital, so then the connection is not working. So my PG test connection is okay, and now we connect directly to the database, and you see that all views are available. So if we are also at the tables which are not with geometry, so then you see all tables. But we are interested about this geometry. So we can add all the layers to our project. So you see that all, or I can move it way down. So all data are here. So you can see ground projections, trees, deadwood. So everything is here. And because this data we set also ESPG, so then data was converted to WGS 84, and we can add, for example, some map, Google Maps, Google Satellite. So you see it was data from forest, and we can work and see all this data in QGIS. Okay, so I hope it helps, and bye bye for now.